Hi, this is Brandon with Precision Defensive Solutions, and today I want to talk about my first experience ever flying with a gun. Stay tuned. So recently I went to Atlanta for the NRA annual meetings, and I'll tell you, it was a great trip. Got a lot done at the show, got to see some great friends, have some dinner with some good friends, and that's what it's all about to me. Though I walked around and looked at some different guns and different products, that wasn't really the big interest for me. I wanted to see some of my friends. I wanted to get some business stuff done, and that was really the big thing for me. Now, I will tell you straight out, I was super nervous flying with the gun. I haven't flown prior to this recent trip since 2010. So there was a 15-year gap from when I flew the last time, which was to Okinawa, Japan, versus flying domestically to Atlanta, and I had never flown through Atlanta, which that's an experience in itself, and we could talk about that some other time. But having flown, always, you know, with the only weapon that I ever had was with a pocket knife. Adding a gun to the mix was a little bit concerning to me, and I had always heard that it was fairly simple. Some people said it was difficult, but I'll tell you, if you follow the policies, it's really super simple. So let me talk about that. So my first experience was at Cleveland Hopkins Airport. The ticket agent was super helpful. Now, granted, I did fly first class and I had priority status, so that helped a little bit maybe, but his kindness was unbelievable. Now, walked up to the counter, put my trunk up on the counter or on the scale, and it was a similar case to this Nanook case. This is a smaller one that I keep my cameras in. I flew with a larger one that I had my clothes and everything in also. Put it up on the scale. He asked me, he said, "Is that the only bag you're checking?" And I said, "Yes, sir, it is." I said, "And it's also containing a firearm." It was just that simple. He said, "Okay, no problem." Started filling out the paperwork, asked me some questions. Was there ammo? And I said, yes, there was. It was in the factory box. It was less than 50 rounds, so it met their standards, because you can fly with up to 11 pounds of ammunition, which on a reference is probably about 250 rounds. So it's not a whole lot, but it's, you know, up to 11 pounds of ammunition. I flew with less than 50 rounds. Okay. Ammo was out of the magazines. It was in the box. And when I first went, I had separated all the magazines, put them in a separate case from the gun. Ammo was separate in a pouch pocket that was zippered, and everything was fine. When I came back, I did it a little bit different. I put my carry magazine with my gun empty in the lockbox. I had a biometric safe that I flew with, so it was locked and inaccessible without the key, which I had the only key, and that was great. That was easy. The case, though, you really need to make sure that it has all the spots where you can put a lock on it, that it has a lock on it. Make sure that it's got a lock on it. I doubled up. These Nanook cases, you can put latches that have locks on them. I did that. Those were locked, and the holes for the padlocks had locks on it as well. So TSA was super easy to deal with. Was not a problem at all. Got that done. Declared the firearm. They did the paperwork. And the agent handed me this little orange card, just declaring that, yes, the firearm was unloaded, and that there was nothing in there that wasn't supposed to be. Sign that, which, by the way, this is a legal document. Do not lie on this, because you will get caught. And if you get caught, you're in trouble. Okay? Signed it, put it in the case right on top, locked up the case, sent it on its way. It took me no time to go through TSA. I highly recommend that if you're flying, that you do pre-check. If you're doing flying with a firearm, I would definitely do a pre-check just in case you get hung up, because that will save you time going through security. I will tell you, coming home, coming through Atlanta, I was very concerned. Having come into Atlanta and seen how crazy that airport actually is, I really expected to get hung up in security and check-in process and all. The check-in process was super simple. It took me less than an hour to go through from the time I walked in the airport, checked my bag, went over to the TSA office, had them check it, which that took them like 3 minutes. It was no big deal. Went through security and TSA pre-check, and there was probably 50, maybe 60 people in line in front of me to get through security. Got to my gate well in enough time, because I allowed myself 3 hours instead of 2, which was fine with me. Again, I wanted to give myself that cushion. But if you follow the policies, you make sure all the locks are there, you declare it properly, everything's stored properly, it should not be a problem. Make sure that you follow this. Put that in there. And I even told the Delta agents, and I did fly Delta, and they were great. I had never flown Delta before. I told the agents that I was going to save these cards and use this in instruction. So I highly recommend that you read the policies, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to talk to you in depth about this. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Get out there and see this country.